guys. I'm excited to hang out today and catch up. I'm gonna attempt my first upper body workout back after getting my girls done a little over 2 weeks ago now. I actually got back to training really fast, which I'll talk about here, because I've been getting a lot of questions about it and I figured I'd just like sit and chit chat about it. But this is gonna be my first upper body workout back. I've done 3 leg days. My glutes and hamstrings are ungodly sore. Like every workout that I've done, whatever I'm training, is so freaking sore. So I've done 3 different leg days and I'm planning on having 3 leg days in my rotation, but right now like my recovery just needs to like get its way back up. So it'll probably be, instead of being like a 7-day split, it'll probably be like an 8-day split, because I need a little bit more time before I can do my leg day again. And then I'm gonna add in 1 upper body workout, just because I can just, when you get your girls done, you just can tell if something doesn't feel right. And I just feel like upper body is not gonna fully feel right. I remember like pull downs and pull ups and stuff like really felt weird for a while. I'm gonna attempt like a little bit, like a light, like 5, maybe 10 pounds for a shoulder press. I'll show you guys. But this is my second time getting them done. So getting back into workouts, and I've actually had a ton of clients. I have like an old video that I made on YouTube that talks about like my experience the first time, and I've had a bunch of clients find me from that. So very familiar with like programming workouts and everything, like easing back in. So that's why I figured I'd just make a video kind of showing you guys what I'm doing real time. I will say this recovery was so much easier than the first time. I think it's, my doctor said like I already had the pocket made, so like a week and a half after surgery they were like, yeah, go work out, go do whatever, go live your life, girl. So I'm like totally fine. I just have to like, the only thing is I have to make sure I'm wearing like a compressive sports bra. I can't have like an underwire bra just yet, which is not the end of the world because I only wear activewear pretty much anyway. To give a little bit of like a debrief on what I did and some information on it, and then if anybody has any other specific questions, like totally feel free to like DM me on Instagram and I'd be happy to answer those. I initially got them done like 4 years ago when I lived in Houston. I went to Dr. Basu in, I think he's like I think it was the Cypress location, but he's like a Houston location too. It's the same doctor. I went to him because a bunch of people that had gone to my gym had gone to him, and I was like, there's look good, like I'll trust him. And I got 3 65 cc's. I just did high profile, I think. I don't think I wanted ultra high because I wanted them to like, ultra high like sticks out a little bit more. High is a little bit more like, it ended up being like a C cup for me, and it was a little smaller than what I initially wanted, but I did under the muscle and the scars are like underneath the boob. But because I was like petite, and I don't know if there's other reasons, but like that was as big as they could fit in my body, basically, like in the pocket. So I was like happy with them, don't get me wrong. I was like, great investment. If I remember correctly, it was about $8,000 when I did it there in Houston. I thought it was gonna be more expensive here because I live in South Florida now. It was actually cheaper here. It was like just under $7,000. And then of course I had to pay for like different prescriptions, like because they gave me like antibiotics and different things like that. I had to buy like some bigger sports bras, like that like zip in the front. I had to buy like a little wedge slant pillow. I'm gonna link all these things that I got in the description, by the way. I'll show you guys the pillow later, but it was great because you can't sleep flat on your back. You have to sleep like on an angle, and it was actually really comfy. And that was honestly the worst part of this recovery. I wasn't super sore. I never took pain meds either times. I just did the extra strength Tylenol. I have a pretty high pain tolerance, but I don't think it's anything crazy, and you just like chill and relax. But the worst part is like obviously missing being able to go for walks and move around, because like I couldn't go for a walk for a week. I had to just like recover, but having to sleep upright was a little bit uncomfy because I'm definitely a side sleeper in the fetal position. If that's the worst part, I don't think it's that bad. But this time around I did 5 35 cc's, so it ended up being like a double D for me. I did the ultra high profile just because like this is just a me problem, but I'm very narrow and just like very petite features. So my rib cage and like all of this is just very small. So to fit, like they're very close together. And if we went a whole lot bigger, they would have like looked kind of weird and pushed up, but like not in a good way. So again, this was as big as they could fit, but I'm actually really happy with them. The reason I wanted to get them redone, like I said, it was just not as big as I initially wanted. They were a little bit asymmetrical. I think it's partially because of my scoliosis, and just with the size that they were in some tops, like it just seems like I didn't have boobs. And I was like, if I paid this much money to get boobs, like I want to look like I have some. That's just like the silhouette that I want to be able to have. So super, super happy with it. I plan to show you guys, like I said, my upper body workout today, how I'm gonna just feel around and get back into it. I'm gonna try an overhead shoulder press. Just stretches a lot, like right here. You can just tell it's like stretching the muscle, because I would do under the muscle for both times. I just feel like it looks a little bit more natural. So I won't train chest like ever. I'm gonna try lateral raises, but like light, and just do like strict form, like sets of like 20 or something. Maybe some front raises if those feel okay. Maybe some rear delt flies. but I would probably have to do cable because I can't like smush my chest up against something. I'm going based off of just how I feel at this point in recovery, if you can't tell. And then as far as back movements, I'm not gonna try pulling down because I can just tell that that's not gonna feel good right now, but a horizontal row with like a neutral grip and keeping your elbows close to your body is gonna be more lat, and then just focusing my elbow towards like my hip to make it more lat focused, because I think trying to row, a mid-back row just feels like it's stretching my chest a little much. I'll show you guys what I end up doing, but then tomorrow I'm gonna show you guys my leg workout. I'm hell-bent on growing my overall lower body. Upper body, honestly, I don't care about it being that jacked anymore. Like, I'd like my shoulders back a little bit more, but I don't really want big arms. I don't really need massive shoulders. I just care more about my glutes, my hamstrings, my quads, because I've got super long legs. I'm like 5'5", 5'6", but I'm all legs, no torso. So it takes a lot to be able to like actually fill my legs in. And I lost a little bit of muscle from some health issues earlier this year. So they're even smaller now. So we are determined we are gonna make it happen. Especially because I'm getting married probably about a year from now. We have to pick a date. And I want a butt in my wedding dress. Let's just be real. So we are on our way to build a butt. But I'm gonna eat this because this has been sitting in front of me for probably like 10 minutes. And I'm hungry. And then I'll probably catch you guys before I go to the gym. Okay, so we're about to go to the gym. I'm feeling super tired today, so it's just gonna be a pretty chill upper body workout. Gonna do a little bit of cardio, maybe a little bit of abs. What's up, baby?
What's up?
What, you got legs?
Got a quad day today.
I'm jealous.
Should be fun. Are you about to show off your new shoes?
My new shoes? Yeah, I got some new shoes. We were at a car meet yesterday because Alex likes cars. By default, I have to like cars. And I'm friends with some of the girls that go. So we were at a car meet yesterday and some guy had these shoes on, and I notoriously don't like to buy myself new shoes, but I only like white shoes. So they just get super gross and they look like gray and dirty for like a year until I buy new ones. And this guy had these aloe like runners on. And I usually think shoes like look weird, I don't know. But I was like, they're so cute. So I was grocery shopping and I was like, the mall's not that far away from Trader Joe's. Let me just go hop by the mall. And they're so comfy. They're a little bit expensive, but I feel like for shoes, like it's pretty normal. But I'm about to wear them for the first time. Which, side note, I don't know, maybe I should just Google this, but if y'all have a trick for keeping white shoes white, let me know. Because I really don't wear anything other than white shoes, but they don't stay that white for very long, even though I'm like, try to be careful with them. Look how cute these are. Gosh, my feet are so little. They're just like so simple and basic. Show you. It's been like, when I say cold, it's like 60 degrees. It's been like cold here in Florida, so I'm gonna wear some sweats. And I also just don't feel like wearing shorts and a sports bra. But I got a Bombshell sports bra on. Honestly, guys, this is just for my girls here. Hopefully, we're just ladies hanging out. I love how all my sports bras fit now. Like, I didn't really have to get rid of very many of them. I'll probably sell some on Poshmark, but I'm actually just like, most of them are smalls or extra smalls, but they fit super well. But this is from Bombshell. If you guys don't shop Bombshell, they have the cutest. Some of their stuff is a little like much for me for the gym. And it's just called like their pump sports bra. This is my favorite. I had this in like a white and a black. These are, honestly, they're Lululemon leggings that I cut into shorts. So they're like ratchet. I just don't like the seam at the bottom of them. And these are some Gymshark sweatpants. I think they're like a medium, so they're like super big and oversized. Okay, also really quick, because I don't do caffeinated pre-workout, it just makes me feel really like anxious. I've been really liking this flavor, so I've been doing the pump, like the non-stem from Raw for like literally years, back when I used to live in Houston, like before I even worked with them. I used to always just do the pineapple flavor, but this new one's called Sour AF. It's like sour gummy worms. So good. So I'm gonna be sipping on this on our way over because this gives you a really good pump. There's a little bit of like endurance ingredients in it, but there's none of the caffeine. And if you want to try anything from Raw, code PR for Physique Revival, that's Alex and I's coaching business, saves you. The deals change on the website all the time. If you ever like look on their website, like it's different every single week. They always have different specials and stuff. So whatever like the highest one is, that's what the discount gets you. But I would absolutely recommend that. I've tried some of their caffeinated pre-workouts. Like the Essentials isn't like super strong, but I just going on vibe. I need the caffeine.
Okay, so I started off with some lateral raises. I did 5 pounds and that felt okay. So I went up to 10 and that was as high as I went this day. But just again, if something feels weird, like don't do it or bring the weight down. When I'm doing lateral raises, I just think about I'm trying to raise my elbows and the dumbbells out, like kind of scraping my pinkies up the wall versus going up so I can keep my traps out of it. And I go slow and controlled just to make sure that I'm not getting other muscles involved. And then I did some single arm dumbbell front raises, and these actually felt really, really hard for some reason. I only could use 5 pounds, but when I'm doing these, I think about actually using my front delt as like a lever to raise my arms straight out until my elbow is gonna be about shoulder height. And then I just went to failure on these because I honestly couldn't do very many of them. The big key with these is just to go slow and controlled versus swinging around using a lot of momentum. That's what I used to do, and obviously weren't very effective. So that's just the kind of key with any movement, but especially post-op, like go light, go slow, go controlled, and just kind of like ease your way back into things. And then I was able to actually work up to 15 pounds for dumbbell shoulder press. Now the first time I got my girls done, I definitely didn't progress this fast, but like I said, this one was just a lot easier of a recovery. So I would again start light. I'm going very, very slow controlled. I found that for me, if I have this slight incline, I can still go so controlled that I keep it just in my anterior delts, like my chest isn't getting involved, like I don't feel it pulling on the implants, and then just go nice and slow and controlled. But I just had to mess around with the angle to find one that felt really good, this or a neutral grip, so like my palms would be more facing each other, my elbows would be more in front of my body. That one also felt good, and it was able to be a little bit more just anterior delt focus. And then as far as intensity, like you're seeing me do here, any of the movements, I can keep it just in my anterior delts when I'm doing these. Like I'm not getting other muscles involved to push for another rep or two. But if you're feeling your chest or other things get involved, like stop it. The set is done right there. And then, like I was saying before, for rows, I can do a lat focused row. So anything like pulling down or whatever, like that just does not feel weird for the first like 6+ months after getting your girls done. So I just stick to horizontal rowing. For it to be lat focused, you want more of a neutral grip. Your elbows are gonna be closer to your sides, and we're aiming your elbows at your hips. Hold and squeeze for a second. Your lats, as you can see, are kind of like right by your armpit. So I always picture like I'm squeezing my armpits, and then as it goes forward, I stop if it starts to pull too much because I don't want it to kind of pull on my chest. But these are ones that I'm gonna hit a couple times a week just to make sure I can maintain the muscle that I have in my back as I ease into being able to do other movements like pull-ups and lat pull-downs and all the fun stuff. I definitely miss them, but I'll be back to it, before you know it. And then as far as rear delts, we don't have a good rear delt fly machine that has a good range of motion. I just didn't want to put my chest against something, so I did some cable rear delt flies. So I'm gonna pull slightly angled downward, focusing on using my rear delt. So it's very, very, very light because your rear delts are really small, like not very strong muscles. So I let it stretch across my body first, so I feel that stretch in the rear delt, and then I'm gonna bring my arm across my body till my elbows are in line with my shoulder. And then these last couple of reps, when my rear delt gets fatigued, I'll use my other hand to assist to get it out, and then I'll go nice and slow and controlled on the eccentric or when it goes back up, just to be able to force a little bit more with these to try to build some strength.
Okay, we just got back from the gym. It actually was a lot better than I thought it was gonna be. I was able to do more weight, and like shoulder pressing didn't feel bad. Lateral raises felt a little bit weird, I'm not gonna lie, but those are like my favorite exercises ever. So I'm excited to be able to do those again. And then with rows, I just like kept it really easy on those. And then I didn't film the bicep curls, but it's a couple of bicep curls. I tried to do some tricep push downs, but that just like the little bit of pushing, you kind of get your chest involved and it just feels kind of wrong. But others are super good. So I just made something to eat, and then I need to shower because I just need a shower. But I got a fat bowl of rice because we always have rice on the rice cooker because I live with a bodybuilder. And I got some 96% beef. I got some avocado, some broccolini. It's like baby broccoli. It's just like digests better. And then this hot sauce, I would drink it if I could. This Kinder's Buttery Buffalo hot sauce. This is my current obsession. I'm gonna take a little bit to eat this because this is kind of a lot of food because I'm like finally getting my calories back up, but I'm just not used to this much rice and just like food in general. So I'm gonna take my time. You got a bang on a protein shake. Okay, my legs are ungodly sore right now, like my hamstrings, so I'm gonna do the leg boots. Alex bought like impulse bought these at the beginning of prep. These and a vibrating foam roller I might try.
It helps.
He said it feels like a massage gun and a foam roller at the same time.
I think it's incredible.
And then I think I'm too much of a baby to have him use the massage gun on my hamstrings. Because it hurts so bad.
Yeah.
Like the very top of my hamstring is so sore. Did I go MIA last night? I absolutely did. My hamstrings are still ungodly sore, but my glutes aren't. So I'm gonna try to do my normal glute and quad focus leg day. I'm gonna have Alex help me film so I can show you guys what kind of movements I've been doing. I'm just like so excited to train again. I'm just not like holding any heavy weights or like putting anything on my back where I have to like stretch my chest, I put my arms back or anything.
Okay, getting back into leg days has been super easy since I train at a gym. So I've got lots of machines, so I'm not having to hold any heavy weights or anything. So to focus on my glutes today, I always love to start with, this is called a gluteator. It's just like a upgraded version of an abduction machine. So if you don't have one of these, I would just use a normal abduction machine. You can lean forward a little bit to get a little bit more upper glute max as well as your glute medius. And then as you get to, fatiguing and failure at the end, I like to use my hands to just assist another couple of reps and really control that eccentric back in just to push these a little farther for a little bit more progressive overload, a little bit more intensity. And then I did a glute focused leg press, so I'll control it on the way in. And as far as my foot positioning, I'll do hip width or maybe a little bit outside. I'll really dig my heels into that platform. And then at the kind of bottom, when my knees are close to me, I want my knees to be more of a 90-degree angle versus having a lot of knee bend. That's gonna make it more quad. So I'm really trying to focus on hip flexion so it can be more glutes, and then really just trying to push the intensity of these. So the last couple are absolute struggles. And then for a single leg movement, can't really put anything on my back or hold anything. So I just did a single leg press. Again, I did these glute focused because I'd already got a good bit of quads in and I could still feel them activating when I was doing this. So the same type of thing, I'll do a controlled eccentric. I really think about driving my heel in and feeling my glutes stretch as my knee comes in, and then driving through my heel and thinking about I'm trying to use my glute to be able to get my leg back out. And then I went over to some leg extensions, and with these I make sure I get a full squeeze up at the top and then control on the way back down and then right back up into the next rep. If you lean the seat back just a little bit versus being super upright, that's gonna open your hip angle up a little bit more, and then you're gonna be able to get a little bit more of the upper part of your quad. It's called your rec fem or your rectus femoris. There's not a lot of exercises that target it super well, so this is one where we can get that a little bit more. And then with my leg extensions, we definitely want to make sure that we're pushing these close enough to failure, so it's going to help with growth. So here I will fight for the last couple of reps and then even get a partial or two. It burns, I know, but it's like 5 to 10 seconds and it's going to help you progress. And then I went over to do some calf raises, and make sure when you're doing calf raises, you get a full stretch like this at the bottom and then a full squeeze up at the top. I like doing straight leg variations versus bent knee because it targets more of your gastroc versus your soleus. You can Google that if you're not sure the difference. Okay, I'm hoping that the sun isn't like too distracting right here, but it's a little bit over 2 months now post-op, and I wanted to just give a little bit of an update of how things have progressed since then. So that was like 1.5, 2 weeks post-op of what you just saw. And since then, I've been able to build up my strength a little bit more in upper body. Like I'm still not pushing super hard just because I don't want to mess anything up. And I got all the time in the world to like rebuild my strength and rebuild that muscle. For back movements, the only thing I have been doing is going to be like the either both arms or single arm lat focus roll like I showed you guys. And I can do like a face pull, and that's more like rear delts, but that's like it as far as like back stuff. Otherwise, it's pretty much just shoulders. I can do a little bit of biceps. Triceps are a little bit iffy, so I've been kind of dabbling with triceps. I just got to be really careful to like not get my chest involved with things or like stretch too much. So upper body's been progressing pretty well. That's about what I did last time too, but I've just been able to get into it a lot faster with this recovery. As far as leg days, I'm good to pretty much do anything. I'm still not holding a ton of heavy weight. I'll do like a single leg RDL, and the heaviest I'll go with that is maybe like a 50-pound dumbbell. When I go too heavy, I can just kind of feel it pull just a little bit. And like I said, like you really just want, like if something feels weird, it feels like it's pulling, like stop. Like you can tell if it feels like your body's just not ready for that movement or that weight just yet. I do a lot of machines. And as far as anything on my back, I'm not doing anything loaded on my back. Like we have either like a squat pro or a V squat where I can have my arms more like right here and pulling back here, just pulling a ton on my chest. It doesn't hurt or anything. It just feels a little tight and a little bit uncomfortable. So I'm still just working on kind of like getting that range of motion back. But otherwise, training has been great. I'm doing like cardio normally. As far as with nutrition, that was the other thing I wanted to be able to talk about. After surgery, did bring my food down a little bit just to match like the really low energy expenditure that I had. My body just didn't need as much. And if you're sitting, like your digestion's just not moving through quite as quickly. So I brought it down a little bit. I kept my protein up, and then as I was able to add back in like more walks or add in lifts or add in cardio, that's when I increased my food again and I kind of inched it back up to normal maintenance. And then now at this point, just because my recovery is good, I can do normal cardio and walks and all that kind of stuff, I'm working on increasing my food to go into a growing phase. After both of the surgeries, I had my body comp at a good spot where I didn't have a ton of excess body fat. I'd kind of come off of a cut, had chilled at maintenance. And then from there, once I added stuff back in, I could pull my food back up to maintenance and then go into a slight surplus and not be at a point where I had, I felt really uncomfortable with the body fat, because then I could focus on growing again. But also, when you go into the surgery, you kind of want your body to look about how it's normally gonna look. Like, you don't wanna be like super, super shredded if that's not normal. You don't wanna look super like peak bulk or anything like that if that's not what your normal is, because then when you're having your boobs like wanting to look a certain way, like you want your body to look how they're gonna look with the boobs. Hopefully that makes sense the way that I explained that. So that's something that was really important to me, of like with the phases of where I get to, or if I have any women that I'm working with as one-on-one clients and we're kind of working our way into them getting theirs done, we always want to set their nutrition up like that too. And then there were two other things that nobody told me the first time I got them done, and I kind of was like, what the heck did I just do to my body? First one also happened the second time, and your midsection gets really distended. Like really inflamed, really puffy, really watery, like look very different. For about a month, both times, until it kind of got back down and I was like, okay, yeah, it looks normal. Normal food, water, movement, like didn't focus on that, focus on my recovery and just easing back in my routines, and it just settled. And you gotta remember, like you just got cut open, got a foreign object shoved inside your body, like, not to say it like in an aggressive way, but like that's what's going on in your body, right? So it's kind of freaking out a little bit. So let it do its thing, like support it, and like it'll go back to normal, I promise. The other thing didn't happen the second time. They didn't really move very much. My doctor said that they will settle a little bit more over like this first 6 months that I have them, but they're already like decently settled, I would say. But the first time I got them done, they shot up super high. Like they weren't touching my chin, but I kind of joked that they were. I knew that was gonna happen, but I didn't process that TMI, but like the implant in your boob comes up, but your nipple obviously doesn't move with it. So they, for the first time, took the bandage off, and my boobs were up here, but my nipples were down here, and they just looked like footballs or torpedoes. Like they just looked kind of weird. And I like almost passed out. Between that and like taking the bandage off and like the blood rushing into my head, I like almost passed out. I was like, what did I just do to my body? Thankfully, after a little bit, like they settled and they look normal, like I said, but just wanted to share that because it truly freaked me out. And I feel like women need to know what's gonna happen when they go into surgery. If you are anxious about like taking the time off of like the gym or anything like that, I wanna just, first of all, you have the entire rest of your life to do all those things and you will be okay. And that's also probably a sign that this is a really great time for you to focus on just like relaxing and trusting your body that it actually needs that rest, and it's going to help, especially if you want some girls that heal and look good. You got to be able to treat your body good. I was number one, like feeling very relaxed, which was very needed, but then just so excited to get back to like going for walks, get back to lifting. Like I just could not wait to go back. And I love when I'm in that mood of, I feel super excited to be able to train, because there's times where you don't feel motivated. Like, let's just be real. There's times where you don't feel like training and you still do it anyway because you're like, this is important that I stay active. But coming off of the recovery, whenever your doctor clears you, whether it's like for me this time it was really quick, but that's not normal. Like for like the first time at least, it's usually about a month or a little bit later than that. I know it can feel hard to not train and you might feel like you're losing a lot of muscle. You're definitely going to look smaller because you're not training, so you don't have the inflammation and you don't have like the glycogen storage in those, so the muscles just look a little bit more flat. But even if you do have a little bit of atrophy, like muscle loss, over those couple of weeks, you are gonna gain it back so fast. You go back to eating normal, you go back to training, and your body already has that neurological pathway. It already knows how to build that muscle because it's done it before, and you gain it back so quickly. So I wanna just encourage, do not rush too fast trying to get back into things and like
ruin all the hard work that your doctor just did. Like I said, if you guys have any other questions on the process of all of this or kind of navigating fitness and nutrition and all that with it too, I have some other YouTube videos, but like totally just DM me on Instagram and I can help you kind of situate with that. But otherwise, I hope you guys got some good nuggets, and I will see you guys in the next video.